school, we used to slap box. By the time I got to middle school, it was body punching. By the time I got to high school, it was headshots. Y'all ain't ready. What's up? Northwestern High School, Bladensburg High School, stand up. What up, people? What up? What up? What up? What up? Man, but nah, what's up, people, man? It's a lot happening. I got my people in the house, man. I'm glad to have you. Skeptical Jerk, I see you up there, fam. You trolling, but I like you, man. I'll take you. You one of my trolls. You one of my people. Yeah, I had to boot somebody today, man. I don't usually do that, but they had to get the boot, Johnson. They wanted the 10 black people to be here regularly. But when I went at Nick Fuentes, they showed who they were. They did. I was like, okay, I gotta boot you, man. Just because you be around my people faking the funk. So I can't have you around my people faking the funk like that. Like, look, you could disagree with me, but his comment wasn't just disagreeing. Yeah, it was anti-black. I can't have that. If you're anti-black, you gotta go. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. You just gotta. It is what it is. I ain't even know what. I'm not even sorry about it. You know what I'm saying? You know.
What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words.
What's up, Jamal? How you doing, fam? The Fall Guys in the building along with Aileen Dorsint. What is going on, man? What is the happenings? Oh, tonight we're going to make some friends and some enemies. I love both. I respect the game, Johnson. Tonight going to be one of those nights where we're going to tear the roof off the sucker. Tear the roof off the mother, tear the roof off the mother sucker. Tear the roof off the mother sucker. Yo, Lens go deep. Sup, Buck? Yo, yo, yo. Man, we are doing what we do on a Friday night, man. I want to let everybody know the type of show you tuned in for. This is a Democratic hater show. Don't get me wrong, we cover U.S. politics, and I'm going to try to call balls and stripes, but I can't get away from my true nature. My true nature is anti-Democrat. And that's what's going to throw people, right? Let me get this right. You don't like the Democrats? No. The Democrats be lying to black people all day. 6 days a week, twice on Sunday. How am I rock with a party that be lying to black people all the time and using our pain for their gain? Nah, man. No. So what I'm saying is I got no perfect enemies and I got no perfect friends. I said we have no perfect enemies and we have no perfect friends. And I also have no permanent enemies, except those who stab me in the back, and no permanent friends. You understand what I'm saying? That's how the real world operates. So if you're new to the show, we cover U.S. politics, breaking news, and black culture. That's what we do on this show. We've been doing this for 13, 14 years or so. We've interviewed writers, directors, authors, politicians, presidential candidates, all types of people, comedians. We've covered everything from police brutality to crypto hijinks to global warming to BS theories. Man, we done did it all. I can't name a topic we really haven't hit on this program. You try being around for over a decade, you're going to talk about some crazy stuff too. But I'm going to tell you this, Johnson, I'm going to tell you this, what we always do. We always stay grounded in realness, and we try to come from the perspective of real working class people. The real working class people, Johnson. I'm a working class fighter. I fight for the working class. I am the working class. We the working class and the hurting class. Shout out to the Active 5 Press. Shout out to Reset Race Politics, my man Mud, the Khaleesi, MJ, and I'm forgetting some names right now. They got like 6 people, man. John. Okay, there's others. There's a couple others. They up there, man. They up there. Y'all ready for content, man? What's up? Y'all ready for it? Gotta take it all in for a second, man. One of them days, Johnson. It's one of them days, baby. It's one of them days, man. I'm trying to tell you. Ain't nothing y'all can do to me, man. It ain't been done. You know what I'm saying? This is one of them days, baby. You know? Going through it. Mm-hmm. It's all good, though. It's all good, fam. Tay Diggs in the building. Tay Diggs is one of my people, man. Tay Diggs up in the house. He's a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack on my Patreon, man. Thank you, Tay Diggs. Give it up for Tay, y'all. Gotta show love for that. Tay Diggs holding it down, man. On the Patreon side of the game, you get first access to everything I put out. I got a trailer load of content, right? So starting only $5 a month, you become a VIP. VIP gets first cracks at all my ebooks, and I do put them out. In fact, I got a new ebook out right now. You want to beat these conversations? You want to win arguments online? You want to be able to talk about immigration like a G? I got an ebook for that. 10 ways immigration hurts working class Black Americans. Booyah, by Tim Black. Not by somebody else, by me. That's like my fourth ebook in a series of ebooks I'm putting out that are free. But my Wolfpack get them first. So go to join Tim Black. Go to Tim's Take Live on Patreon. Damn, I should put that up, man. Do I have that even linked? Let's see what we do, Johnson. Yeah, I got to do the damn thing, Johnson, because if I don't promote it, it ain't going to get promoted. I said if I don't promote it, it's not going to get promoted. Wow. Where we at here, Johnson? So tonight's show is going to be something special, man. I feel it already. I said I feel it already because I know what time it is, man, with these people, man. I do, man. I do. We're on X right now. We're also on YouTube. Let's see if we can do this. Let's go to Patreon. We're on X and we're on YouTube. We're not on Facebook. We're not on Facebook, but patreon.com/Tim's Take Live. And I hope that works. I guess we'll find out. It's spelled right. It's spelled right. So look, check this out, guys. Tonight's topic's on Crockett's bad press. Letitia James in the hot seat. The DC Fed takeover. Cincinnati fallout continues. Man, does it ever. Man, see? X gonna give it to you. We gonna give it to you. X gonna give it to you. He gonna give it to you. Yo, I'm about to blame Buck on the Cincinnati fallout because Buck, he kept sending me the videos. Buck kept sending me videos of Holly. All right, Buck, we're gonna address it. All right, man. All right, Buck. Hey. I appreciate you, Buck. It's on. We're gonna have that conversation. All right. We got more. We got more in the tank, fam. We have more in the tank tonight. Who's in the building, Johnson? Whose house? The Wolfpack's house. Tim Black's Wolfpack, that's my VIPs. Tonight's show is brought to you by the Tim Black Show. Look, man, want a way to support the show, but you want something for it? Besides content, pick up a mug. Don't mean mug me, but pick up this mean mug. Go to timblackmug.com. That's right, $20 to your door. Shipping's included. 11 ounces of funk, right? Microwave, dishwasher, and hater safe, Johnson. Get yours today. timblackmug.com. Now, man, I'm pumped up, man. I'm pumped up, man. What's up with these people, man? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Man, I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm trying to tell you, fam. Thank you, fam. This fedora. I was wondering because, man, some people say I don't like this one. I like it, man. It's a straw joint. It's for the summer, man. I can't wear that hot stuff right now. Yeah, I got other hats, man. But I appreciate you, fam. We're gonna do our thing, right? We're gonna do our thing tonight. I don't know, man. Shoot them all, let God sort them out. You know what I'm saying? That's what we gonna do, John. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even gonna hold you. We gonna hurt everybody, man. We gonna hurt them all, Johnson. Shoot, man, I ain't gonna play with them. Tonight's show is dedicated to my baby. Tonight's show is dedicated to my baby Jasmine. Love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. Today, here's her birthday. And I love you, baby. I love you, baby. Can't run away from it, gotta run towards it. You know what I'm saying? Gotta run towards it. Where we at in the lineup here, Johnson? Y'all ready for some content? I know you are, Johnson. I know you are. Let's see what we're doing here. Is it loaded up? Yeah, it's loading up. Yeah. Yeah. We are good. Oh, man. What kind of question is that? What kind of question is that? I guess that's a question. Look. I say, what kind of question is that? I guess that's a question you want me to answer, right? That's a crazy question, man. I'm a Black American. I'm Black first. Come on, man. What time? Come on now. You're not talking to a progressive. Well, a progressive would be like, I'm a human being. I'm a human being with thoughts of everyone. I'm a person of color. We're colored. We're singing and we're happy and we're brothers. Give me a hi. Nah, man. I'm a Black man. I said I'm a Black man. Say it with your chest. Don't even nobody in the progressive space talk like that. Not a single one of them. No wonder I had to leave. Come on, man. Not a single one of them say anything with any base, with any authority. Because you can't speak with authority when you're walking on eggshells. Oh, my God. You can't speak with conviction when you watching your diction because you trying to make fiction with the snow bunnies. It's out there now. I didn't mean to say that, but it rhymed. It felt good. It felt good. Tim Black is married to Mrs. Black. Oh man, I'm so glad I chose Mrs. Black, man. And Mrs. Black, thank you, baby. That's my sweetheart. Look. Cause I say, hey, once in a while, whenever it's a new ache or pain or whatever, I'm like, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad we're only like a year apart. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of old dudes choosing young women. Yeah, they ain't gonna be so cute later. You're gonna be all broke down. Your wifey gonna be looking at your old ass like, what did I do this for? But you know what I'm saying? It's different when you both had the same, you know what I'm saying? We can share each other's cholesterol medicine. You know what I'm saying? We can work it out. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Now you ran out of yours. You use mine, baby. It's all good. It's all good, baby. I say, yeah, it's all good, man. Choose wise. Choose wise. Measure twice, cut once. Look, everybody in the house. It's Friday, man. Don't get it confused, man. This ain't no popularity contest. I need y'all to hit like, though. I need y'all to hit like for the algorithm. We got to let YouTube know that you watch the Tim Black Show, and it is a relevant program that's available freely here. You got to let people know that, man. You got to let the algorithm know, because if you don't let the algorithm know, by hitting like, they be like, this show, we ain't going to let nobody know. It's a shame, man. There should be thousands of people tuning into my show. I don't know what it is, man. Are y'all sharing my show? Y'all got on notifications? Who's got notifications on? Hit one, please. I'd like to get a show of hands. Who's got notifications turned on? Can I see a one? A 0 for no, because we need notifications turned on, Johnson. We got to get this show. We got to get like, we got to at least get 1,000 people watching. Come on, man. What are we doing? I mean, what I got to do? Play video games for y'all to watch this shit? What I got to do? What I got to do, fam? Play video games online for y'all to watch? For us to get to 1,000, what I got to do? What's up? Maybe I just, do a faceless channel. Faceless channels be getting 1,000 people watching at one time. Man, hit the like button, man. Hit the like button. Let the algorithm know. I got my people on X, though. I got my people on X. I see y'all on X, man. X gonna give it to you. Anybody on X? X be all quiet, man. I don't even feel like X be having like people in there cooperating. X is like people watch it, but they don't chat. There's no community on X. What's going on? Can't get no love on X, man. All right, man. Bump it. I'm ready to do some content. Y'all ready, man? Let's go. Let's go while we're still youngish. Let's do it, Wolfpack. It is what it is.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Changes now.
There we have the Attorney General, Letitia James, in the front row.
Okay, so as this starts to get...
New York's Attorney General, Leticia James, may now be in some legal hot water herself.
The reporting is the Department of Justice has now opened a formal investigation into the state. Attorney General Pam Bondi issuing several subpoenas and convening a grand jury as part of a criminal investigation into multiple allegations. But it all comes after Tish James and Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg put then former president, then candidate Trump on trial in New York.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Ow! Man. Fam. I'm trying to tell you, Letitia James has problems. She got problems, man. And I want y'all to know, I've been one of those people that tried to tell her ass. I tried to tell her what was going to happen. Nobody listen to Tim Black, though. Now, they call me, because I'm a Democratic Party hater. They don't want to take my advice. I try to tell you, man, see, what they do, see, Letitia James going to have to FAFO. Yeah, she's going to FAFO. FAFO, Johnson. Because, see, the Democrats, what they do is they push black women. They push them in the back. Go ahead. Go get them, girl. Oh, we love it when you show attitude. Wow, black women are so amazing. And then when all hell break loose and the black woman is being attacked and she getting beat up, and then they come for her ass, she be like, where are my people? They be like, bye, Blackie. Bye-bye. Sorry. Don't even do that. They just look away. Oh, God. Please keep the noise down. We're having tea over here. Could you stop screaming so loud? That's what's happening, man. FAFO for Letitia James. I'm trying to tell you, man, when the Democrats get done with you, they break their toys. What have you not learned? Letitia James, 60 years old, still don't know the rules of life. Woman, that case you had against Trump was so flimsy. It was a setup. You couldn't see that. I feel like Sam Rothstein. I feel like Sam Rothstein in a casino. Remember the scene where he had to fire the dumbass dude that didn't know that somebody had rigged the slot machines? What did he say? He said, 3 machines hit at once. What's wrong, Sam? I thought they was Sam. Sometimes people gotta win, Sam. Come on, Sam. I thought sometimes people win. Don't you fool with me. You mean to tell me you didn't know that there was a setup? 3 machines went off. Well, I couldn't tell, Sam. I couldn't tell. Sam was like, 3 machines went off within 5 minutes of each other, and you didn't know it was a setup? Either you're too dumb to be here, or you were in on it. Either way, you're out of here. You're fired. He said, you firing me? He said, yeah, I'm firing you. Yeah. That's how I feel about Letitia James, man. She's not smart enough to know she was being set up. So either she was in on setting herself up, which would be crazy, or she's too stupid to be attorney general. Listen to what I'm saying here, Johnson. New York's Attorney General Letitia James is facing multiple federal charges, investigations, which has sparked significant attention. One is the DOJ grand jury. They say that she may have violated Donald Trump's civil rights. That's right. Investigation into civil rights allegations. They convened a grand jury in Albany, New York, to investigate whether James violated President Trump's civil rights through her office's civil fraud case against him in the Trump Organization, which resulted in a $454 million penalty. Oh, see, she thought he just going, have to pay that and just walk away, and the Democrats beat him, destroy him, and she just becomes vice president like Kamala. That's what she thought. I guess that's what she thought was going to happen. No cankles. That's how it's going down. No, it's not happening that way. Number two, a FBI criminal investigation into mortgage fraud allegations. The FBI, as confirmed by Director Kash Patel, is probing James over allegations of mortgage fraud-related real estate transactions. That's right. The woman that accused Donald Trump of fraud is being investigated for fraud. That's right. Yep. And number three, James's legal victories against the Trump administration. James won a lawsuit against the Trump administration challenging the unlawful cancellation of National Institutes of Health research grants. A federal judge ruled that the administration termination of grants related to diversity, equity, inclusion, LGBT and health, and DEI and vaccine hesitancy was illegal and discriminatory, restoring over $4.5 million in funding for New York research projects. Okay. So these victories highlight her ongoing legal battles against the administration's policies. So anyway, she's going through it. Letitia James is going through it, and it's not as if she didn't bring this on herself. Yeah, I fought the Democratic Party because the Democratic Party would juice you up just to let you float in the wind. Right? They'll do that to you. But I also got to blame her because she's a grown-ass woman. She had to have an idea. She saw Fani Willis over there in Georgia. She saw her, Fani Willis, out there in the ocean by herself, floating in the tub, on a tube, on the inner tube, in the middle of the ocean. Sharks around her. Letitia thought she was special. She never once crossed her mind that could be you, Letitia. That one time. Yeah, only a fool thinks they're so special they can't go down. Yeah. Who was going to save you? Who's going to defend you? I hear Alvin Barr, I haven't heard nothing from Alvin. What's happening with Alvin? Quiet. See, Letitia kept running her mouth continuously, perpetually. Anytime she could find a microphone. So some of this is on her. Most of it's on her. The Democrats gave her enough rope. They incited it. They supported it. They egged it on. But at the end of the day, Letitia James did all the heavy lifting on their own, with stars in her eyes, looking for opportunity. And now she has the opportunity to go down. And not with anybody else, by her damn self. I'm not saying I'm clapping for it. I keep telling y'all, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a conservative. I'm just me. I'm a man who believes that politics sucks on both sides of the aisle, but I also believe in karma. And I believe what you get out, you get back. And I believe Letitia James is full of it. Yeah, I believe that, man. I believe that. And I believe them New York charges was some bullshit anyway. And I believe it was all fabricated. It was politically motivated. And I believe if you ain't smart enough to know that when it ain't no fun until the rabbit, if you're not smart enough to know that it ain't gonna be no fun when a rabbit get the gun, you shouldn't have been attorney general. Give it up for that, y'all. Come on, man. We got to do better. We got to do better. We got to do better. Let me know, man. What say you, Tim Black's Wolfpack? Anybody got comments on Letitia James? Yeah, man, I don't have no co-hosts. Y'all got to be my co-host, man. Who's my co-host tonight on this? Looks like Fonnie had Bill Barr and Armstrong Wilders holding her up. Ty Setti, what's up, fam? It's been a minute, Ty. Good to see you. Blackploitation. That's one way to put it, fam. Real talk. Yeah. Blackploitation. There it is. There it is. She should have did her job instead of going after Trump. Man, they see the shiny objects. Who knows what they offered her? But at the end of the day, man, you have to know. You got to think about what's the worst case scenario. You know what I'm saying? You can't just rely on people's words and people going, yeah, you go, girl. You get them, girl. You do it. You do it. Yeah. That's not enough. You got to know, like, what'll happen if we don't get them? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It'd be dope if we get them, but what if we don't get them? What if he come back to get me? Donald Trump, man. Trump reminds me of this character. Reminds me of a character in the movie. I enjoyed watching the movie, but it was also sad. How many people remember the movie Jeepers Creepers? Y'all remember that movie Jeepers Creepers? It had a couple, iterations. You know what I'm saying? Couple sequels. I love that movie. But I didn't love the movie because he wouldn't die. Nah, there was no way to kill Jeepers Creepers. You thought you killed him. He just come back and kill you. You know what I'm saying? And you thought you got rid of him. You thought you won. And he just come back and kill you again. Like Freddy Krueger. But worse. You know what I'm saying? But worse, man. Jeepers Creepers was like invincible. And I'm like, what good is that? What good is what good is a movie with a villain that can't be killed? Killed everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump is Jeepers Creepers. Yep. Without the hat. All right, man. That's what's happening. I said, that's what's happening. Letitia James, FAFO. Let's get into it, fam. We're going to keep going. Hit the like button. Let the algorithm know we did all right on that segment. Let's go to the next segment, people. We're going to be shooting. Look. I ain't playing with y'all. I said I ain't playing with y'all. Let's go for big air. Let's do this. It's Friday night.
But when the cameras are off, Crockett's real claws come out. Staffers say she bites harder than she barks. And the whole fighting for you act, one big cheap fake. She even works from home. Quote, she's laying around her apartment, won't come into the office, and is really just indifferent to staff and will scream at them. When Crockett actually shows up for work, she wants to be treated like Governor Hot Wheels. She hates using her legs. She demands her staff play chauffeur and drive from the Capitol to her office. It's only a few blocks. And the car can't be some cheap Subaru. It's got to be an Escalade. After that, the aide must, and this is important, stand outside the car and open the door like it's the Met Gala. Another aide says Crockett's obsessed with being the Black Sydney Sweeney. Quote, she's focused almost exclusively on being an influencer, not a member of Congress.
Man, look. I've been reporting on this since day one. I've been saying this since day one. I can see through it. A lot of people can see through it, but you know what? Not everybody got the heart to report it. And so just let the record show. Before her staff dropped a dime on her, because what happens is she fires people, right? She fires people and then they go talking. That's what happens. You do people dirty. You get rid of them. You think, I got rid of them. And then they get to talking. So that's what happened. But see, so many people in progressive media kept kissing her ass like she was amazing. You could tell she was a narcissist off the break. You know, I could tell, you could tell. Come on now. It was obvious. She won't use her legs. Jesse said she's like Governor Hot Wheels. She doesn't like to use her legs.
The Black Sydney Sweeney. Quote, she's focused almost exclusively on being an influencer, not a member of Congress. Crockett's all diva, no wow. And Crockett might talk a big DEI game, but if you're black, you're the first to get the pink slip. Quote, I don't want to hear Jasmine Crockett talk about helping black women when she just fired one for no reason.
Are you a no-show boss from hell?
Hold on, guys. Hold on everything. Hold everything. See now, this is one of the problems I deal with, right, when I'm in, doing what I do. The number of black women that I have commenting to me, black women and black men, the number of black people who over the last 6 months or so criticized me for criticizing Jasmine Crockett, a representative of the people, an elected official who I'm able to criticize. They don't complain when I criticize Tim Scott. They don't complain when I go after Cory Booker or Jim Clyburn. No, they're fine with that. They don't even care when I call out Van Jones for crying all the damn time. They never said anything when I went after Mark Lamont Hill. He ain't even a politician. When I go after Roland Martin, they don't say nothing. But if I say Jasmine Crockett is full of shit, if I play a video with her doing word salad, a la Kamala Harris, they get upset, man. They don't like you criticizing Jasmine Crockett. Folks, what you say now? What good is being a black woman in power if when you use your power, you beat up? You take, look, man, she took food off the table of her sister. They said for no reason. I don't know what the reason was. I wonder if that will have any impact on those people that said I'm wrong for criticizing her. I ain't take no food off her table. I didn't fire her. I'm a bad guy for criticizing her. But she could fire her sister for no reason, apparently. Yell at people that work for her, treat them like garbage, and then terminate them. I'm just wondering what's going to happen. Yeah, they're not even going to believe the story because it's coming from Fox News. And they can't be telling the truth. Even though we all know CNN would never report it until it was way past. Like it'd have to be filmed with a video camera. And for it to be out in the world for them to report on it. Because she's part of the Democratic apparatus. Yeah, CNN, MSNBC, MSNBC would never report it. It could be filmed. They would say, must be a deep fake. Yeah, it must be one of those deep fakes. They could have actual footage of Jasmine Crockett cursing out a sister, calling her all types of names, putting Vaseline on her eyes, you know what I'm saying? Taking the stuff out of her hair, ready to go, ready to scrap. And they would still be like, must be a deep fake. We stand behind Jasmine Crockett. We stand with her. She's a fighter for the people when she's cursing out president. When she's throwing profanity at the president, she's standing up for us. That's for us. That's not for her. She did that for us. Okay, so here goes Jasmine Crockett explaining how she ain't do nothing.
Fired one for no reason.
Are you a no-show boss from hell who terrorizes staffers?
Oh my goodness. Listen, I know.
That sounds like a yes, Johnson. When people, yes. Absolutely I am. That's what that means, Johnson. Come on, Dan. You've been around liars, Dunge. When they laugh like that,
Are you a no-show boss from hell who terrorizes staffers?
Oh my goodness. Listen, I know that I have arrived, honey. That is the way that I see this. Because as Beyonce says, if they're not talking about you.
Name dropping celebrities, huh? That's what we're doing, huh? All right. That means she's been hanging out with Beyonce. She's been hanging out with Beyonce.
Terrorizes staffers?
Oh my goodness. Listen, I know that I have arrived, honey. That is the way that I see this. Because as Beyonce says, if they're not talking about you, then obviously you must not be doing anything. You know what? This is just more slander, more nonsense, more lies. And honestly, I don't think that the New York Post would probably be the first ones to be able to figure out if I was a boss from hell. You and I were joking before we got on camera about all of the scrutiny that comes with being not only woman, but being young and being a Black woman. Yeah, there's a lot.
Jasmine Crockett is 45 years old. Not that young, Jasmine. I mean, respectfully, you know what I'm saying? You're younger than me, but you're not that young when it comes to, politicians. 45 is, you're a grown-ass woman, dog. You're talking like you're 32 or something. You're 45 years old and an attorney. You got these young people thinking you're a kid. You're not a kid. You're a grown-ass woman. And the white guy interviewing you, I don't know his name, but he ain't chiming in. He ain't saying nothing. What you said off camera was just to keep you cool and calm. Let's see if you ask any real questions.
The scrutiny that comes with being not only woman, but being young and being a Black woman. Yeah, there's a lot of scrutiny that comes my way, and it comes my way from all different angles. But when people start talking about you, that's when you know that you are obviously.
She said the same thing 3 times. I tell people, man, y'all keep telling me she's amazing, she's gifted. No, she's not. She said the same thing 3 times. She said, when they talk about you, that means you're doing something right. Sounds like an influencer. Sounds like somebody wants to be a star. It doesn't sound like somebody who's out here trying to legislate, trying to make your life better. It does not sound like somebody who has their priorities straight as a lawmaker. It sounds like somebody who need to be having a YouTube channel. Yeah, it sounds like Charleston White. Jasmine Crockett is the Charleston White of the Congress. Then she wondered why she can't get committee assignments. Who the hell wants Charleston White on the committee? Oh, yeah. Nobody want that. That's not good enough. That's not what people are looking for, Jasmine Crockett. What people want is for you to go to D.C. and do the bidding of people in Texas. Your district is shitty. First of all, fam, she ain't from Texas. She was handpicked by the Democrats. That tech guy threw a bunch of money in the campaign for. Sam Bankman-Fried, before he got locked up, took care of her. That's how she got elected. Now they rejoined her district. Things are looking tight for her. They say she might have to run for Senate because she ain't going to have a district, it looks like. Who knows? And if she does, she won't have the necessary corporations in her district to shake them down for cash, which would mean she would be vulnerable to in a primary. So she's stuck between a rock and a hard place, is what it is, fam. And y'all need to recognize that about Jasmine Crockett. She's amazing. Nah, she keeps saying the same thing over and over again while she is bigging herself up.
All it does is motivate me to continue to do what I do, which is to be loud and proud on behalf of the American people.
Next.
Loud and proud. Now you be loud and proud. But you ain't doing that shit on behalf of American people. You're doing that on you're doing that on the behalf of yourself. You're doing that on the behalf of your own brand, your name recognition. I mean, and look, and don't get me twisted, man. It was cute when you first did the bad body built B. That was cool. Hey, Marjorie Taylor Greene had it coming, man. I never knocked that. I thought that was funny. I gave her props on that. But that was the last time I felt she did anything that was, in that spirit. Dancing to the Kendrick Lamar song like you were in your 20s. It's not something over 40-something. That's not what Auntie does. You know what I'm saying? Like, not a lawmaker, man. I I wasn't feeling it. And then when you went after your own governor, how does that help your constituents? Folks, Jasmine Crockett is a lawmaker. Why is a lawmaker whose people that put her in office live in Texas? Why would you go after the governor? You don't think you're going to have to work with the governor in your own state? Why would you go after his disability? Why would you do that? It don't even make sense. She did things to prove that she wasn't concerned about the people at all. I know I got some people with the Jedi mind trick. They see a black woman in a position of power. They go, oh my God, praise God. We gotta praise her. Nah, what about the fact that her whole purpose? You're only supposed to know her because she's a lawmaker. You know Jasmine Crockett. The only reason why you should know her is because she's getting things done for the people that elected her. That's what politicians are supposed to do. They're not supposed to become famous because they can curse or roast or call disabled people Hot Wheels. Why would you hurt your constituents? Why would you hurt the people in your district by creating an adversarial relationship with the governor of your state? Not a governor of another state. She went after the governor of her own state. And we got so many cowards in corporate media and in independent media who be kissing the Democratic Party ass. Very few would have the guts to talk about it. Now, of course, I talked about it because it only made sense. I've invited Jasmine Crockett on my show to talk about it. She won't respond because the word salad ain't going to work. Every time she word salad, I'll be, well, got to follow back up on that question you didn't answer, sister. Oh, God, got to ask you again because you won't answer. Telling me Beyonce quotes and naming Usher songs ain't exactly an answer. Talking about Trump isn't an answer. When black people say, what have you done for me lately, Democrats? You saying, oh, we clean the water. We try to get y'all clean water. We all supposed to have clean water, sister. What are you talking about? Now there's different water for black people and different water for white people in Texas? Why is our water different? But see, when you ask hard questions, when you don't kiss ass, when you force them to answer, that's when you become the bad guy. And what they try to do is avoid you. Well, folks, let me know what y'all think about this. I say Jasmine Crockett, she in the hot seat. She deserved it. She earned it. She fought hard. She fought hard to be in this bad position. This took doing. This took somebody with an axe to grind. Somebody wanted to be famous more than she wanted to be effective. You can't want to be famous more than you want to be a fighter for the people, to be a public servant, even in this video, even in this interview. She didn't bring up being a public servant to the end of it. That should have been the first thing out her mouth. I'm fighting for my people in my district. Instead, it was about, hey, if you ain't doing something right, if they ain't talking about you. You know, Beyonce always said, if you gang. And they attacking me, and I'm a black woman. That's why nah, you think so? It's a lot of black women in politics not getting attacked. All you do is attack people. All right. It is what it is, y'all. It is what it is. On some real stuff, we need to get smarter about our votes. We need to get smarter about holding our politicians accountable. And we need not let the corporate media decide for us what's best for us. That's why we need to take the Black Truth Challenge. Hashtag Black Truth Challenge, y'all. Be inspired. Become a member of the Tim Black Show, man. Let's go. Let's keep going. I got any likes? We got any likes on this content here, man? Is there anything I left out about Jasmine Crockett I should have put in? I started two-stepping at 32. I don't dance no more. I don't dance no more. Yeah, baby. That's it. That's it. Oh, there you go. Oh, there we go. That's about all you get. The Trump bashing is getting old fast. Man, they've been Trump bashing for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's old. It's over. That's so 2021. You know what I'm saying? How are you going to still be Trump basher in 2025? Come on, man. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? They did it 2015, 2016, 2017, all the way to 2025. And they're still Trump bashing. Still. Man. Bet that district wants deportation. You bet they do. But Jasmine has a lot of Latino voters. So it's also going to be up to them. But you know what? A lot of Latino voters, they want deportation too. Quiet as it's kept, but it's not so quietly kept for real. Because they don't want to give up the resources that they've paid into in this country and have that diluted by outsiders who have not gone through the rigorous road of getting into this country, becoming a citizen that they had to go through. There are a lot. I think this whole argument about deportation has not been framed correctly. Nobody is more adamant about the immigration issue than people that have gone through the process. Now, when people talk about the process is not perfect, they're absolutely right. Process is horrible. But if you went through that process and then other people get to jump the line, ignore the line, we got people been here 40 years. How you gonna be here 40 years and not get your paperwork straight? 40 years, Johnson? 40? I don't know nobody with a warrant for 40 years. I'm gonna keep going, man. I'm crazy. I make too much sense. We can't be making sense like this on a Friday. Y'all ready?
On Deck with Tim Black.
After the episode, we received a letter from Melania Trump's lawyer. He took issue with our title of one of those YouTube videos from that episode and a couple of comments I made about the First Lady. We took a look at what they complained about, and we took down the video and edited out those comments from the episode. I also take back these statements and apologize.
Yeah, this is crazy, man. I wasn't expecting this. Apparently what happened is James Carville made some comments about Melania Trump. I don't even know what they were, but they threatened to sue his ass, and he got his head right. Yeah, after they threatened a lawsuit, he got his head right. And you know what? I respect that. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to go to court, take it down, Johnson. Take it down. I just thought that was something. They're not going for malicious, defamatory falsehoods.
Next on Deck.
Just thought I'd share that with you. Ain't nothing.
With Tim Black.
Are you considering taking over the D.C. police? Is that an option on the table?
We're considering it, yeah, because the crime is ridiculous. I could show you a chart comparing D.C. to other locations, and you're not going to want to see what it looks like.
I want to see it, Trump. I want to see the chart. I want to see the chart because I got a chart too.
It was just up on television, actually. They were showing it. Now, we want to have a great, safe capital, and we're going to have it. And that includes cleanliness and it includes other things. We have a capital that's very unsafe. You know, we just almost lost a young man, beautiful, handsome guy that got the hell knocked out of him the night before last. And I'm going to call him now. We wanted to give him a little recovery time. We just put a call into him. They're calling back in a little while, but he went through a bad situation, to put it mildly, and there's too much of it. We're gonna do something about it. So whether you call it federalized or what, and that also includes the graffiti that you see, the papers all over the place, the roads that are in bad shape, the medians that are falling down, the median in between roads that's falling down. We're going to beautify the city. We're going to make it beautiful. And what a shame. The rate of crime, the rate of muggings, killings, and everything else, we're not going to let it. And that includes bringing in the National Guard, maybe very quickly, too.
Do you want...
This isn't a partisan issue.
Now, so when this issue of Trump federalizing D.C., which would put D.C. under the rule of the federal government, which would also bring in feds to handle crime and, as he pointed out, other areas too. Critics argue, including local officials, data from the Metropolitan Police Department note that violent crime in D.C. dropped 35% from 2023 to 2024, with overall crime down 8%. They argued Trump's claims exaggerate the issue and that federalization would disenfranchise residents who already lack voting representation in Congress. Yeah, what it might do, Trump, is it might have people leave the district more so than they already have. I want to check out this clip where this ANC commissioner talks about Trump's threat to take over D.C.
This is a public safety issue.
Former Advisory Neighborhood Commissioner Kathy Henderson welcomes extra law enforcement in her neighborhood, which includes Benning Road Northeast. It has struggled with a resurgence in drug and violence problems in recent years. She says she supports the request that U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro made to the D.C. Council today. Pirro asks them to reconsider 3 laws dealing with young offenders: the Second Chance Amendment, the Incarceration Reduction Amendment, which is coupled with the Second Look Act, and the Youth Rehabilitation Act, in order to toughen penalties on people under 25 who commit violent crimes.
We have an individual that committed a murder when he was 16. Because of the legislation, he was given a sentencing reduction, so he was allowed early release. This person, whom we wrote a community impact statement for, and we submitted it recently to the court, he committed another homicide.
Well, first of all, the homicide rate in Washington.
You know, sit down. I heard what this woman said. I heard what she said, and I respect her opinion on this, and that's what I think we need to do. We need to get the thoughts and the opinions of people that work within the government in local D.C., but also need to talk to the residents. What do the residents think? What do they want, right? You can take any anecdotal story and make that your story if that's what you want to do. It just proves that she wants to support it and bring it in a federal situation. Because I'm sure there are other people who took advantage of any program that gave them an opportunity with some leniency, and they went and handled their business. They did what was necessary, right? Of course, you can have one that didn't and one that did, right? So, yeah, I think it all depends on where you are. That's why numbers matter. That's why the data matters, because the data tells the full story, not your one-off stories, individual incidents. If you let that cover and drive the narrative, well, you're going to be cherry picking your narratives, which is what I think she just did here. I don't know her, but sounds like that's her. This has more to do with her bias than anything else. Let's check out this segment on CNN.
In D.C. is very high compared to other major.
He committed another homicide.
Well, first of all, the homicide rate in Washington, D.C. is very high compared to other major cities and other world capitals. So to continue to say crime is down, I think you're giving people a false sense of the fact that it is.
He said in other world capitals. He said in other world capitals. Look, it's high in other countries compared to other countries don't have guns. What other countries are we talking about? Scott. We're talking about a banana in the tailpipe. This mofo is literally comparing American crime to another country that may or may not even have guns in the country. Come on, man. Come on. And this is a big 2A guy, right? Come on, man. Shamichael Singleton, come get your boy.
Is in fact dangerous in Washington, D.C. But I tried to tell you last night, this issue with the Doge kid, Ed, people are pissed about this, and it hammered home for a lot of Republicans the fact that Washington, D.C. is violent. There's roving street gangs. There's lots of carjackings. And, you know, this guy worked in the White House. He was known to a lot of senior government officials. And I told you last night it had set off a firestorm in the Republican Party, and this is the result.
Carjackings are down in Washington, D.C. 37%. 37%.
From here to here?
Whether 37% is a significant number.
It's
just math, right? It's just math. 37% drop is a significant drop.
Here goes the numbers right here, Johnson. And you know, man, I got problems. I got problems with Van Lathan with his other comments, but he's right on here. I agree with him here. This is true. I looked at this the other day when I reported on this. This is just math, Jennings. Look at it. Look at the numbers, man. Trump, why don't you just can't say the truth? I know why Scott can. He's a hack, you know. Anything for Trump. And don't get me wrong, I like him when he gets the Democrats to business. But see, in my point of view, unless you want to come in and help with the economics If you don't want to come in and help around with wraparound services, all the other things that contribute to crime, and all you want to do is bring in a militarized police force to crack some heads, because you know where they're going. They ain't going to go to DuPont Circle. They ain't going to go up to Farragut North, Farragut West. They ain't going to go to Potomac. They're going to go right to the hood. Go right to Bennett Road. They're going right to Malcolm X Avenue. They're going right to the Big Chair behind Anacostia and get the cracking heads. And that's not what we need. Someone said, Tim Black, what does over-policing mean? We talking about over-policing. Look. Over-policing is when you get people for petty shit. You just keep messing with them, pulling them over at all times. If you pull over a black guy, you pull black people over 10 times more than you pull over white people, then you go, black people seem to have all the guns. Well, you didn't pull over, you pull for every white person, you put over 10 black people. It's like you want to create that narrative by creating it by the way that you did your policing. That's what I mean. So when you police that way, it is called not only racial profiling, I call it a setup. But at the end of the day, I want to know what DC residents think. That's my only caveat to this, Johnson, because I feel that way from a perspective of just policy. But if you live in a particular area, you may feel differently. If Big Mama can't walk down the street, if a brother can't park his car and walk in a house without fear of being robbed, like if these are the real considerations that we're having, then something needs to be done. So I'd like to have the actual residents of DC had this conversation more so than Van Lathan or Scott Jennings and, God forbid, Donald Trump talking from the sidelines. We need actual residents. And even that sister, the ANC person, no. Let's get some town halls going. And let's put that on the big screen. Let's put the town halls, right? Let's come down and film the town halls. Let's get some real conversations going. Because I'm with the people, right? Don't talk to me about this Doge boy that got beat up. That's bad. That's bad he got beat up. Okay? There was a story of a young black man who tried to stop a robbery at a hotel, outside a hotel, and he was killed. For some reason, that didn't make the news. I wonder why. Trump not talking about that. He lost his life, and he was helping a woman as well, and he was black. No conversation about that. And as upset as I am, as that's not what's driving this, as disappointing as it is that is not the story that's driving the narrative of federalization. If you wipe away my bad feelings about it, at the end of the day, it still gives credence to the argument that maybe more needs to be done. But when you look at the data, because I remember DC when it was the murder capital, Johnson. See, I'm from this area. I remember DC murder capital. These numbers look good. These numbers are good. Like Trump's complaining at a downtime. Let's keep going.
Here's the deal. If
It's not safe.
It's just math, right? It's just math. 37% drop is a significant drop. Here's the deal. If the president is doing this because someone that he knows got assaulted, unfortunately got assaulted, and then he can use that as an excuse to do what he likes to do, which is ratchet things up and use authoritarian measures to show force and take things over. And that's what he's getting at. But the reality is that things in terms of crime are trending down in Washington, D.C. It's just math. We didn't cook it up in a leftist socialist bubble. It's just math, guys.
What's authoritarian?
Yo, man, I got a problem with the framing of Van Lathan. Van Lathan, whatever you prescribe Trump to have, whatever you think his motivations are, he likes to ratchet things up. He likes to authoritarian. Like, we don't care about that shit. If you lived in an area where there was potentially more crime, like those numbers are great, but I don't know what it is in the black areas. This is overall in the city. It doesn't mean your particular neighborhood and where you live is as peaceful as those numbers would translate. Maybe those numbers are good in one part of DC and not so good in the other. I'm leaving the door open for that to be the case. It sounds like you're not leaving the door open to be in reality. You're still in Trump bad, Orange Man bad, therefore not a good idea. So we need to talk to DC residents, find out what's important to them, find out what their lives are, and then we kind of make a judgment from that. But neither Scott Jennings or Van Lathan are trying to do that. See what I'm saying? And I think somebody could have offered that as a solution. Public sentiment, May 2025, Washington Post, George Mason University poll found that most DC residents are concerned about the federal takeover threats. 86% support statehood in a 2016 referendum. So that's going back to 2016 with Jesus Christ. DC has always wanted statehood. How about this? How about best of both worlds? Any resources, additional resources that DC needs, how about the federal government be willing to give that to them, but DC controls it? And bump your taking over DC. How about we give them statehood so they can have a full wraparound apparatus like all other states do? Scott Jennings is talking about DC having these issues, but he's not talking about they don't have the full backing that other states have. They don't have the total control over their state. Well, I'm sorry, their city, because it's considered whatever the hell. It doesn't have full representation. It should have full representation. All right, fam. Statehood. Statehood is a must.
It's true that crime is.
President Trump, it's not a secret how he feels about violence in the city, and it's resulted in this. We are outside of Union Station this morning because the White House says you can now expect to see more police presence in touristy areas of D.C. In fact, there were several things announced by the White House yesterday. Check it out. For the next 7 days, and potentially longer than that, you can expect to see federal officers in marked units patrolling what the Trump administration is calling high-traffic tourist areas and other hotspots. We are not sure exactly what those hotspots are. The increase in law enforcement presence is supposed to start each night at midnight. We are talking quite a few agencies here, guys, just to name a few of them. Metro Transit Police, Amtrak Police, U.S. Capitol Police, the DEA, and the FBI. Look here, the ATF Washington office, that's the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. They posted this picture just before 2 a.m. this morning, showing them apparently pulling over a car along Georgia Avenue. Tony Millette, this is obviously not the first time that we have heard the president talk about Washington, D.C. as a city. By now you know he has threatened to take over Washington, D.C. And as we wait to see what happens there, one thing is for sure, you will definitely see an increased police presence for at least the next 7 days, guys.
Next.
Oh my God, they got cops. They got cops outside of Union Station. Oh, that really helps Grandma big time. Yeah, Big Mama's real happy to see that. Yeah, that's one of the most gentrified areas in DC. Come on, Johnson. Come on, man. It's a train station, an Amtrak train station. It's not even going to pretend to care about the poor people or the lower middle class or the middle class, working class people, huh? Not even going to pretend, man. Lots to do about nothing, Johnson. Let me know what y'all think, man. Let me know what y'all think at the end of the day. Boy, I never cease to be disappointed in politicians, man. Jesus Christ. All right, let's go to comments, man. Where y'all at, man? What's up, people? How y'all feeling? Any thoughts here, man? Give DC back to Maryland, except the capital area. What's up, Black Rose? DC safer than Silver Spring now. Wow. Ebony, how you know that? You from the area? Wow, Silver Spring. Silver Spring is very gang affiliated. A lot of Montgomery County got a lot of gangs. I'm not just talking about the black gangs either. MS-13 and some others. It's a lot going on. A lot going on in Montgomery counties, family. And people used to want to move to Montgomery County. That's right. DC City should represent us to the fullest. It does not. Ratchet things up like Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Ratchet Crockett. You know, said 37% drop, but DC's still high. Yeah, it may be. It may be. Like I said, it's got to be up to the people, fam, but I feel you. Compared to what, though? Compared to itself, okay? So when you compare it to itself, but come on, man, it's no, there are worse cities. Real talk, there are worse cities. Here's the problem, Johnson. A white guy got his butt kicked. That's it. End of story. That's it. A white guy got his ass kicked, and we wouldn't even be talking about this. That's what happened. This guy doesn't get beat up. This doesn't happen. Boy, I tell you, man, the power of whiteness. Because, man, there's a lot that goes on in D.C. A lot goes on in D.C., fam. Okay? I'm intimately acquainted with issues in D.C. I'm not saying there isn't issues in D.C. I agree, Johnson. I agree. But the driving, motivating force behind this was what? This white guy got beat up that worked for Elon Musk. And that's all it took. All right, fam, let's keep going. Hit the like button if it makes sense to you. If it makes sense. I like to hear from my people in D.C. if possible. What do you think? What do you want? Let's let D.C. stand up. You know what I'm saying? I got thoughts. If you don't get D.C. the ability to control its own destiny with statehood, how could you ever really judge it like you judge other states? Right? But the founding fathers, look, man, grow up. Grow up. Stop relying on that to not give people the same rights that you have in your state. You have certain rights in your state. All right. All right, let's keep going, fam. I appreciate y'all.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
What was happening in that moment that you decided as a woman to jump into this situation?
Well, everyone was standing around recording and egging it on and, cheering to them. And I kept waiting for the police to show up and waiting and terrified, And when I realized the police weren't going to come, I could hear someone, the man that I jumped in front of, literally crying to God, please God, somebody save me, somebody help me. It was the third time he had been knocked down and kicked in his face over and over. Somebody had told me 57 times. They had counted through all the videos. And I knew that if I didn't jump in, if he had fallen down one more time, he would not have made it out alive.
Did you know him, Holly? I'm sorry to interrupt. Did you know him?
No, I had just met him that night, just a few hours before he came to the birthday party. And that's how I met him.
So, Holly, since Laura won't do an adequate job here. Holly, so you had a birthday party with him earlier. Why'd you call him person? You don't know his name? I mean, it made it sound like you just saw somebody getting beat up, and you just jumped in because you're such a, citizen, a concerned citizen, and saw a guy getting beat up. But it sounds like you were there before it started. So are we going to, Laura Ingram, we're going to ask her, hey, Holly, why weren't you concerned when he was talking all this smack to all these black people that you didn't know who didn't go to your party? Because it sounds like you went to the party, you got shit-faced, then you went walking around and want to go get some more to drink, so you want to go to the club. Or something like that, right? And then there was some talking in the street. I hope Laura, maybe I'm wrong, maybe Laura will ask her these questions. I'm just wondering, why didn't you intervene when the Russian dude before anybody hit anybody, when the Russian dude was talking shit to everybody, telling them, come on, you want some of this Russian? You want some of this Russian? When he was doing that. Because that's what he was doing. When he was saying, come on, where you want? You want some Russian? You want somebody to put a piece of this Russian? When he was doing that part. Why, Holly, why weren't you saying, hey, dude, I'm from here. You're not. You're about to get your ass whipped. You're about to get all our asses whipped. I'm just wondering, because you're sounding like your story sounds a little detached from what was happening. And all of a sudden, he was getting beat up and you just happened upon it. But you were there before the fights took place. Let's keep going, Johnson. I really want to hear it.
So you decided to jump in someone you just had met. I mean, most people, frankly, wouldn't do that. And over how long of a period of time did this transpire? Was this seconds, minutes?
So Laura just bailed her out instead of asking her any important questions. She just bailed her out. Oh, so you jumped in to help. Oh, okay. No. Before it started, why aren't you asking how did it start? See, nobody wants to answer that question. People want to talk about what happened after.
You just had met. I mean, most people, frankly, wouldn't.
Somebody had told me 57 times they had counted through all the videos. And I knew that if I didn't jump in, if he had fallen down one more time, he would not have made it out alive.
Did you know him, Holly? I'm sorry to interrupt. Did you know him?
No, I had just met him that night, just a few hours before he came to the birthday party. And that's how I met him.
So you decided to jump in someone you just had met. I mean, most people, frankly, wouldn't do that. And over how long of a period of time did this transpire? Was this seconds, minutes?
No, I want to say at least a solid 15, 20 minutes this was going on. I mean, the videos that you see are little short blurps, but this was going on for so long, it was ridiculous. And it was like one crowd would come in and start beating on them, and then another crowd would come in and take their turn. So it wasn't going to stop. It's not like one crowd came in and had their fun kicking them, then there would be more that would come join in.
First and foremost, I just want to...
Yeah, one of my biggest problems with this is she's not telling the truth. It's not exactly what happened. This Russian dude was egging on people. I mean, it's on film, Johnson. There were black people and white people that tried to break this up. She wasn't the only person trying to break it up. I actually saw the film of a white guy and a black guy in between them trying to break it up when this Russian dude smacked somebody. They were there like this in the middle of it, trying to calm it down, trying to de-escalate it. And the Russian guy, with a head full of steam, hit somebody who he wasn't even engaging with. Like, he hit a third person. Of course, Laura won't bring that up because, well, the conservatives have already decided they want to spin a certain narrative, and the viewers are not intellectually curious in finding out anything more than they're talking as if these black people went hunting for white people. When that's not exactly what happened at all. It's not even close to what happened. The Russian dude was threatening. He wanted to fight. He was the one. It's in the video, man. People are saying, hey, he got what he wanted. Come on. He was doing that shit. And I don't know what world you live in. I can't do that. I can't go to somebody's neighborhood and be like, come on, you want some of this, black man? You want some of this? Yeah, you want some? Who wants it with me? Like, yo, there'll be people like, hey, what's up? He didn't think people would be like, yeah, what's up? I mean, this is crazy. People try to vilify a black woman. Who said this? One of the Ohio representatives, a council person, she said, he egged it on, he was begging people to fight, and he got what he asked for. And everybody vilified her like she was saying something crazy, when it was literally what is said on tape and heard on tape, what is seen on tape, is what he was doing. Now, does that mean everybody get to jump him? No. But everybody everybody doesn't do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what happens. That's what happens anyway. It happens at baseball games, at football games, in the stands of a basketball game. This is what happens in America. You on the opposing team, this team being Russians, talking shit to a bunch of black people, using the N-word, man. Dog. If I go find a bunch of Latinos and Mexicans or Latinos or Hondurans or Venezuelans in their neighborhood or where they're gathered and start using a bunch of slurs and wanting to fight them for whatever reason, I probably don't make it out. Last thing before I let the video keep going. Last thing. She was wrong when she said she was saving his life because she didn't save his life, did she? She ended up getting knocked out. Not good. I'm not applauding it. So I guess they weren't going to kill him because they didn't kill him. And she didn't stop them from killing him. So nobody was trying to kill him or he'd be dead. You know, Ohio is a gun state. Anybody can carry a gun and use a gun. And no one has a right to retreat. So you're in a state where if you want to fight, someone puts their hands on you, you could pop them. No one shot this guy. I'm just saying, she's talking like she saved his life. If you're knocked out sleeping, how are you saving someone's life? Obviously, you didn't save anyone's life. Let's keep going.
Say that I don't want to relive what happened to me, 8 or 9 days ago. I'm here to talk about the future and how we can change it, how we can prevent this from happening to anybody else. These heinous crimes have to stop. I never want this to happen to anyone else, especially a mother, a daughter, somebody who is loved. So I just know what it's done to my family.
She needs to stop talking, man. I don't want this to happen to anybody, especially a mother or a daughter or someone who's loved. It shouldn't happen to anyone. How about just end it there? That'd be good. That'd probably be a good place to go ahead and stick your foot in the ground and stop right there. Pull the emergency brake, because it started feeling like you were fishing to say something a little bit different than that. And I don't want to read into it. I don't want to read into it, but you're leaving a lot of room to read into it. It shouldn't happen to anybody. Nobody deserves to get sucker punched. Sucker punching is punk shit. I do not condone sucker punching. I also don't condone being with Russians, anybody, forget Russians, being with anybody using racial slurs and inviting people to fight you. Then you get into a fight and get your ass kicked, and then everybody goes, oh no, and then now the white lady who they should have never hit, because that's the last thing you want to do in America, is hit a white woman. Because now she get to do this all week. She's already raised $500,000. Which is kind of down. I expected her to raise more. How much did the other white woman raise? Just because she called a black kid the N-word a couple times? It's amazing what whiteness will do for you. What she raised, $2 million? Then it turns out she got a black boyfriend, and maybe it was all set up. I don't know what happened to that story. Let's keep going. Let's hear more about Holly's situation.
Not just to me. And I think that moving forward, we do need more accountability. And I definitely think that, we need more police officers, but like he said, the judges who are just letting people out with a slap. The man who...
Were you drunk? Were you all drunk? It's a good question, because was alcohol served at the birthday party? See, a lot of people are not asking critical questions here. No one's going to ask shit. Hey, dog, they were at a birthday party. Was it a kid's birthday party or a grown-up birthday party? Was there alcohol involved? I think there was. I think people were high and drunk when they hit the streets. I think the Russian dude was drunk out of his mind. I think he got off light. I think it could have been worse. Yeah, it looks bad seeing a guy get punched by random people. He's alive. I know people who aren't. That's all I'm saying, for being in the wrong place at the wrong time and starting shit. Okay, that's my opinion. Now, let's listen to her, but once again, no context. I think you were drunk. I think you could have made better decisions. No one, that doesn't justify someone sucker punching you. Sucker punching a woman is low anyway, man. Sucker punching a woman is low. And, you should never do that. I can never condone such.
And I definitely think that, we need more police officers, but like he said, the judges who are just letting people out with a slap. The man who attacked me and might have permanently damaged me forever.
That you chose to get in the middle of men fighting. I don't know what the hell that was about. Can be my sister, man. I'd be mad at the guy that hit my sister. I'd also be mad you got into a fight with a guy you don't even know who started the shit. That's all I'm saying. It's like, I
should never have been on the streets, ever. And the fact that he
should have never been on the streets, ever. Jesus Christ, white lady. Ever? See, you got homicides or something? What'd he do?
He said, the judges who are just letting people out with a slap. The man who attacked me and might have permanently damaged me forever should never have been on the streets, ever. And the fact that he had just gotten out of jail previously for something he should have been in there for years. It's really sad to me because I can't even fathom how many other people who have been attacked by the same type of man over and over.
By the same type of man. Yeah. What do you mean by type of man?
Over and over in Toledo, in Columbus, Cincinnati, Dayton, our streets are being taken over and nobody is doing anything.
You expected people to clap when you were talking or something? The streets are being taken over. Let me get this right. You go to a birthday party, you and your friends get shit-faced, y'all get into a fight, and you get your asses kicked. Now, I wonder if the Russian would have won, would you even be here talking? I'm just asking because I don't know. I'm just asking because it's kind of an important question. It seemed to me, I don't know, I'm getting a feeling like if he would have, if everybody didn't show up and the big Russian dude would have been able to take on smaller guys and win, are you even having this conversation? Of course, you're not punched. Would you have called the police on the Russian dude if he would have won? Would you have called the police and got into the middle to break up the fight to get the Russian dude off of the black guys? I mean, you just met him. So you don't, so you want to protect the safety of all people, right? Just wonder, does the Russian guy have a history of violence? I mean, it just seems to me like a guy that would walk down the street using racial slurs, using the N-word, and telling people, come on, who wants some of the Russian? It seems to me like that guy might have a record. I don't know. I know I'm reaching, right? But see, no one asked that question. No one asks, hey, does the Russian have warrants? Does the Russian have a history of violence? Why aren't we hearing from the Russian? Oh, he left. Why'd he leave? Why is he not doing his victory lap? Where's his GoFundMe? I ask these questions because he's the primary person that got beat up. I got a feeling we know the answer because there ain't no reason in the world why the guy that took the major beatdown is not talking. And that's just something he don't want to talk about. Maybe if he talks, some of this story starts to fall apart. I mean, we are thinking people, right? We're not all born yesterday. Like, there's money to be made, right? Okay. Books to be written, movies to be written, maybe even. He ain't talking?
I am so sad. And I need to be the voice to help all of the victims that never got their justice. So I just want to say that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Next on deck.
I wish he would have stepped in a lot earlier and cut that shit off. Yeah, man. Unfortunately, I haven't seen any interviews where she was asked any real questions. Everything that I've seen has been people pandering and saying no one asking like, hey, so run it down for us. Explain to me what happened. I haven't even got a video where someone said, let's take this from the top. Because I seen the top, but I don't know the top of the top. Like, I seen footage, right, where the white guy was the aggressor, but I don't know, like, she was there before anything happened. She would be an excellent person that says exactly everything that took place. It doesn't seem like we have a media that's curious enough to get to the bottom of that, though, does it? I wonder why no one wants to get to the bottom of it. I wonder why all of a sudden we're good enough with her crying and wanting to save everybody. She wants to save all of Ohio from fights. It's interesting. And all I'm saying is the fights that should have been stopped were when the white guy was using racial slurs at black people who were there that he didn't know, that weren't from the birthday party, that he's encountering walking down the street. That's a good time to de-escalate the fights before they start. And I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's up to her, but I'm saying, like, why is that not part of the conversation? We know why it's not. We know. Yeah. I remember, and I've been in bad situations. I'm not saying it's good for someone to get punched. You know, I've been punched, I've been jumped. It can be a very dangerous thing, but other things have happened, I got robbed at gunpoint. I had people put guns in my head more than once, maybe 3 or 4 times. I should probably, divulge to you, in all sincerity, I'm very lucky to be alive. I've had been very, very close situations with bad guys, right? But that still doesn't mean that everybody should go to jail forever because I was in one situation that could have cost my life. That I didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? I was just a victim. This happens. They call it lacking. They call it being sleeping, right? Getting caught slipping, right? So I'm not saying it's a good thing. What I'm saying is very plain. And I realize that some people will disagree with me because they come from a different background than I do. I get that totally, man. We're culturally different, okay? Culturally different. But as I pointed out, there are things you don't do. Even with my friends, and we go somewhere together, and you start talking shit to a bunch of dudes, and don't get me wrong, I've been in bad situations like this. Somebody would go to a club, and it could be all black, and you do that shit, and you put us in a situation where we got the whole club running us out the club. Whole bunch of guys we don't know running us out the club, and we running for our lives because this guy went in running his mouth. Now, there are people watching this that don't understand at all how shit go in the hood. They talk a lot, though. They got a lot of conversation from their limited experience. And all I'm saying is, the reason why the cops came and did not treat this like the end of the world, because there were no casualties. There were no casualties. And they see fights all the time. Getting in a fight or getting beat up is kind of a regular Friday or Saturday in many metropolitan cities. Maybe if you're from the sticks and you don't know that that's what happens, that they're not seeing some crazy shit when they see people that just got beat up. They're actually seeing what they normally see on a Friday. And I like to remind everybody, this was like 3 a.m, wasn't it? Wasn't this in the wee hours of the morning? This wasn't 7 p.m. Eastern time or 7 p.m. with the dusk. People are, what I'm saying? I'm just painting a picture here. Last thing I'm going to say is this, and I'm not going to look at the comment section because it ain't going to do nothing but get me upset. But I will say this. And there are people that don't get this, and it's disappointing that you could be a viewer of the Tim Black Show for so long and not get this. So either I'm not doing you justice or you're not doing you justice. Part of justice is not just We can't prevent what happens to people. We just can't. The world is a bad place. It's a dangerous place. It's a violent place. But what happens after that? See, we can't prevent every time someone gets shot by a cop. It's the prosecution. Of course, we'd rather the shootings never took place. We'd rather that Philando Castile still be alive. But then we can't even get justice after it took place. These people that are on trial, let's see what happens with the court system, because that's the real deal. Let's see what happens to the guy that punched her. Because at the end of the day, that's really what it's about. But if the court looks at it in totality and they form the conclusion that it was a melee, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, but my point is this, and let me try to say this and get out. It's not just trying to prevent bad things from happening. It's about what's the response to bad things happening and who gets held accountable. Yeah, who gets held accountable. So let's see what happens with the justice. We could not prevent Tamir Rice, for instance. That happened in Ohio. We can't prevent that. It happened. The insult to injury is that no one was held accountable. Cop took a young man's life, took a child's life, and didn't do a day in jail. In fact, it's still a cop now, just for a different police station. That's the injustice. So we'll see what happens with this case. There's no way to convince anyone that a person unarmed should be punched in the face by someone who, when she wasn't doing, there's no way to convince anybody of that. I'm not trying to do that. But what I am saying is they're leaving out a lot of stuff. And I just want to know, why would they leave it out? She wasn't the aggressor. Why not tell the whole story? There's a reason why they won't talk about how it happened. They won't talk about, the racial slurs. They won't talk about, come on, who wants some of the big Russian? They won't talk about that part. Because all of a sudden now, everyone can't be sad and sappy about it. It's just frustrating that we had this type of media, but this is what you get. I tell you, man, it's a beautiful thing to watch Trump's push to get black people to vote for him go up in smoke behind this story. And I still don't think Vivek Ramaswamy will be governor of Ohio. He's doing his best to try to win votes on it, though. We'll see what happens. All right. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. It's one of them polarizing stories, man. But at the end of the day, don't punch women in the face. Don't do that, okay? And at the end of the day, don't use the N-word around a bunch of strangers. And then don't invite a fight unless you down to fight everybody. You don't get to say, who wants some? And then be like, oh, I didn't mean you or you. I meant this 4'11" guy over here. You don't get to do that, particularly when you smack the shit out of somebody else. You don't get to, I don't know what movies, I don't know what, I saw Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what movies y'all saw. I'm just saying. A Boy's Life. Was it A Boy's Life with De Niro and Palmentary? Huh? Yeah, when I say, you guys don't want to leave? Well, now you can't leave. Yeah, I don't know what the bikers got their asses kicked. That's it. Let's keep going, Johnson. What we got? I'm gonna go to the comment section. I know I don't want to do it, Johnson. I know I don't want to do it. When stand your grounds doesn't apply to you in a stand your ground state. Jorge, it's what it is. Yeah. What those black people did in Cincinnati was self-defense, including what happened to that lying white woman. Yeah, leave a lot of stuff out, but people don't care. They see somebody crying, but that's somebody. That's somebody. See a white woman crying, all rationality goes out the window. Very simple questions like, hey, so how did it start? Become attacks. You know what I'm saying? They become attacks. If you answer that question, she'll just start crying and they go, okay, next question. Let's move it on here. Let's not even belabor this. Obviously, this woman, are you saying she deserved this? No, I just want to know how it started, that's all. How did he get from celebrating a birthday party to waking up in the middle of the street? Let's unpack how we got to this point. Vivek is booty. All right, man. I'm just saying, it's just crazy, Johnson. I don't know how to clean it up, man. I'm on the record saying I wish for my Wolfpack people to be safe. Be safe. But there are places I can't go and do what the Russian guy did any more than you can. That's all I'm saying. And some of you, I don't know where you're from, but there are places I can't go and do that. You know what I'm saying? And it just, if I want to, and if I do, I might not be the last. That'll be the last time I do a show. The last time I did a show would have been the last time I do a show. There are places where I live at right now, not far from here, that if I go do what that Russian guy did, he's probably alive because he's a white Russian dude. Because he probably could have been in that area. I know that area. But when I was in LA and I had on a Yankee hat, there was a couple dudes that set my mind straight. Like, I got rid of that hat. I know that. I took that hat off my damn head. I didn't know it was in a gang area. They were looking out for me. I wasn't like, you want some? I was like, oh, thank you. By myself I didn't know, I'm sightseeing. I'm a visitor. I'm a tourist. All right, guys, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
With Tim Black.
Because the former First Lady, Mrs. Michelle Obama.
Stephen A. Smith is in hot water with some of the Democrats because he responded to Michelle Obama, who brought him up on the podcast. Let's take a look at this. And I don't know. That's the story.
Talked about moi. It just so happens that yours truly came up on her IMO podcast, which she hosts with her brother Craig Robinson. While discussing the battle for the remote in her house with sports versus reality TV, she compared ESPN to Bravo and me to the face of the network, Andy Cohen himself. Take a listen to this.
This is where I want to educate my brother and even my husband who will be listening. Culture is king.
Yeah, culture is
I mean,
king.
The truth is like they razz me about my love of reality TV and the Real Housewives. I watch it all.
You watch it all?
All of it. They think that sports is better reality TV. I was like, it's the same thing. There's drama in sports.
There's so much drama. Yeah, that's right.
If I listen to ESPN for an hour, it's like watching the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's the same drama and they're yelling at each other and they don't get along. I mean, Stephen A. Smith, he's just like every other
he'd
talk
be a
show
great
host.
Real Housewife.
He would be.
Right.
Right?
It would be amazing.
So that's why I'm like, what's the difference? It's just, it's just sociological drama. I mean, the fact that people over seasons of working together still can't get along.
Right.
They still have the same arguments, and it's not just women, but this happens in sports too.
Right.
I find it fascinating.
It's the former First Lady in the United States of America. Somebody that I personally revere and believe to be the greatest First Lady in American history. That's my personal opinion, and I stand by it. Smart, very attractive, highly intelligent, very accomplished, wonderful values and morals. As far as I'm concerned, she's the closest thing to perfection I've ever seen from a first lady in the White House. That's just how I feel about it. No disrespect to the great Nancy Reagan and, Jackie Kennedy and all these other folks in between. Barbara Bush, everybody else. It wasn't Michelle Obama, not to me. Okay? So, first thing I want to say is, thank you for watching. I really appreciate that you watched First Take. You tried to deny it, but you wouldn't know I'm so loud if you wasn't watching. Cause you ain't making that judgment just watching me once. You know you watch First Take. You know it. You know you know it. You know your husband watches it.
And if you don't hurry your ass up. Jesus.
Too. I appreciate the fact that I'm known in the Obama household. I'm touched by that. I actually am touched, okay? So let me get that out the way first. Secondly, though, to your brother Craig Robinson, I got love for you, my brother. I haven't seen you in a while. All the best to you, my man. Can't wait to see you down the line. Number three, I would like to see you, Madam First Lady, Mrs. Michelle Obama. I would like to see you have some people on your podcast with dissenting opinions, dare I say. That would be nice. So they could have an opportunity to clap back if you say something. It just would be nice, I mean, I'm just saying. Fourth, Andy Cohen, ain't no shame in being compared to him. That's the face of Bravo. He created all those reality shows. He's a highly, highly successful individual. You understand?
So my thing is, after all this bootlicking, ass kissing that Stephen A. Smith does, I don't know why people got a problem with what Stephen A. Smith finally gets to. He finally gets to this.
Beloved by millions of people out there. So for me to be compared to him, there's no shame in that. Okay? That's number 4. Number 5, however, with all seriousness, Michelle Obama, I want to take this opportunity to remind you that while you are revered by me personally, and I truly, truly mean that with the greatest sincerity, I'm still a bit salty at you. When you were campaigning on behalf of the former Vice President Kamala Harris, who I'll get into in a minute, by the way, and you were giving a speech, I believe it was in Detroit, if I remember correctly, but I'm not sure. It was in the middle of the day. It was carried live. You said a vote for Trump was a vote against you and a vote against y'all as women. I want to state for the record, I took major offense to that. Black men don't just love our black women. We revere y'all. You've practically raised most of us. Think about the most hardcore individual you can find who is a black man from the streets of America. If there is one person who can walk up to him and slap him silly and get away with it, it's his mama or his grandma. It's who we are. And to say what you said back then, I think to this day is the only thing that I didn't like that you said. I didn't appreciate it. Because there's so many things that go into deciding where your vote is going to go. For some people, it's all about the economy. For others, it's all about national security. For some people, it is immigration. For some people, it's safety in the streets of America. Long before they think about pro-choice or pro-life. I'm talking about men. There's a reason why Trump got about 57% and Kamala Harris ended up with 42, even though Biden had won the years worse. But that didn't make y'all clean.
Stephen, Trump won the election, but black folk are losing. Trump won the election, but 300,000 black women are now unemployed. Trump won the election, but 7.8% of black folk are unemployed. 19+% are underemployed. And a significant margin don't even count because they stopped looking for employment under Trump. He's just been there for a few months. He's affected the job cycle to this degree. So if you want to talk policy, we can go toe-to-toe on policy in a day. The reality is, dear brother, your response was about President Obama more so than Michelle Obama proving her point. If you had an issue with her contextualization of the entertainment value, the friction that is created on your program, which is intentional, purposeful, and has its place, why not respond to it? You decided to take it as an opportunity to launch a proxy attack against the politics of it all. She just said, brother, you can be a Devo sometimes. That's what she was saying. Okay, that's about it. All right, put him up for a mass.
You know, Dr. Rashad Richey, man, is such a defender of the Obamas. He's nothing but a D.L. Hughley with a law degree. I didn't hear anything so negative that Stephen A. said. But of course, you can't disagree with an Obama, even if they bring you up first on the podcast. He cites these numbers about black women losing 300,000 jobs. And this is a contested number. By the way, this is not a precise number. In fact, it's one people are still debating. But what is certain, it's true that there are some DEI jobs that went away. And black women lost some of those DEI slots, some of those. And as we know, DOGE did some cuts in federal government and some of those federal government jobs. Now, it's also true that some black women took buyouts, took severance packages. Not all of them hit the unemployment line. Some of them took a bailout and retired early. Some of them took a bailout and just took some money and probably started a business, because black women are the most entrepreneurial people in the country. Fact. But of course, for the purposes of the Rashad Richey TYT show, I'm going to say all the black women are just struggling because Trump did it. Trump surgically went in and took black women's jobs. Because he's Hitler. That's what Hitler does. You know. How do you even target just black women? I don't even know. But you know, okay. Because it's how do you get so precise with your targeting of whose jobs are being taken? So anyway, it just get crazy. So there's broader economic issues such as inflation, declining public trust in institutions, which predates Trump's current term. Others note job losses in sectors like retail and hospitality, where black women are overrepresented, also contribute. The overall economy added 177,000 jobs in April 2025. You know, when I talk about immigration, people get mad. But one of the sectors that are predominant or dominant for black women would be retail and service jobs. Sort of like a sector that may be impacted by, I don't know, all the people that Biden brought in. But no, Rashad Richey would never even perish the thought. He would never imagine it was possible that people that newly came to the country would want a job doing anything except picking grapefruit. Yeah, they wouldn't want to be nurses, or service workers in any industry. They wouldn't want to work retail. No, they want to go out and pick crops. 10, 20 million people. None of them wanted jobs working indoors. And if you're an employer and you have, because you got to say, if the jobs gone or the people just gone? Because who took the jobs? Someone's working those jobs, right? So where has there been an increase in jobs and where has there been a decrease in the number of people? And we could start putting these things together. But see, I'm starting to say things I'm starting to present the scenarios. I'm starting to present equations that they don't want to answer, that they don't want to deal with because it's inconvenient for a network and for a lawyer and for a commentator like Rashad Richey, because the last thing they want to do is look at the policies of the Democratic Party. Yeah, Rashad, you just stepped into a whole can of whoop-ass. So just like you brought up, that it would be good for Stephen A. Smith if he wanted to come tangle with you. You'd love to have that debate. I love to have the debate with you. Because, see, I believe the jobs didn't just evaporate. Did the companies leave? Where'd the companies go? Now, I know Department of Education, some jobs were cut. Doge, I get that. I don't think it was 300,000 jobs, though. I'd love to have a debate with you about how immigration has impacted Black women's jobs specifically. And since we all love Black women, since we love Black women, Dr. Rashad Richey, we got to find this for them. And we want to protect them. We want to protect them. That's who we are. That's the culture that we have in common, right, sir? Well, let's have that conversation. And let's, for the first time, because I never hear it really addressed on your network, let's address the immigration issue, brother. I'll be your Huckleberry. Let's talk about it, bruh. That in mind, let's keep going, man. There's more to it. This ain't to defend Stephen A. Smith. This is about the argument. This is about the issues, not about personalities. I care about Black women too. That's why I married one. My mom's also Black. That helps.
Stephen A. Smith is responding to Michelle Obama's comments after comparing his show to The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Stephen A., that's a very popular show, sir. There are worse comparisons in the world. After comparing the show to The Real Housewives of Atlanta on her IMO podcast, Mrs. Obama said that Stephen A. was just like every other talk show and referencing that it's just, the same drama. Quote, they think that sports is better reality TV. I was like, it's the same thing. Mrs. Obama said, referring to debates over content she has had with Robinson and her husband, former President Barack Obama. She added, if I listen to ESPN for an hour, it's like watching The Real Housewives of Atlanta. It's the same drama, and they're yelling at each other, and they don't get along. Stephen A. Smith, he's just like every other talk show. Obama also said that she finds the sociological drama that reality TV series and sports talk shows produce very fascinating. Smith responded on his show on YouTube and said that he still reveres Obama, but defended his show of not being scripted entertainment. Miss Obama went on to say that she finds the sociological drama that reality television series and sports talk television produce fascinating, regardless of the gender of the people on the screen. Smith referred to previous comments made by Obama during the 2024 presidential election cycle, suggesting that a vote for Donald Trump, out of control, college students are getting arrested for having an opinion about Israel, and national security, get real, Hegseth is in charge. Quote, Michelle Obama, I want to take this opportunity to remind you that while you are revered by me personally, I'm still a bit salty at you. Some people, it's all about the economy. For others,
you know what's bad about this is a long, tired, drawn-out situation. But Stephen A. Smith, he voted for Kamala. He still catch hell because they won't even allow you to have a critique for the Democrats, even when you support them. Stephen A. Smith has been very public about his support for Kamala Harris. She lost, though. And still, for some reason, Dr. Richey feels it's time to roast Stephen A. I tell you, man, D.L. Hughley, it's the D.L. disease. I think Dr. Rashad Richey's been hanging out with D.L. Hughley, man, because he's gotten infected. You got the D.L. Hughes liar disease.
It's all about national security. For some, it's about immigration. For some, It's about safety on the streets of America long before they think about pro-choice or pro-life. I'm talking about men, but she was talking about women. It's a policy issue. She was just stating a policy position. Okay, that's it. Smith concluded his response by saying even though he voted for Kamala Harris in 2024, Obama's comments made him express regret for backing the Democratic ticket, which is insane. You back a ticket because you believe in it, sir.
Well, it's insane to feel regret that Obama said that degrading, disrespectful comments about Black American men. I wonder if you criticize him for that. I'm just wondering, Rashad Richie, I wonder if you criticized Obama for what I think was pretty universally people that aren't kissing ass to the Democrats were kind of upset by that. You know, kind of like, who the hell is he talking to? Why makes him think he should be talking to Black Americans in this way? It sounds like you had no problem with it. It figures. I tell you, man, some of these people they're not Black, they're Democrats, and some of them ain't men. They're Democrats too.
All right, sharing thoughts.
Or back no one. Does that mean that he would have rather voted for the guy who's taking everything from everyone except for they're not even 1%ers, there's probably like a fraction of a percent or so.
I feel like I'm watching The Wiz for some reason. The Cowardly Lion comes to mind. Look, guys, it is what it is. Dr. Richie. Do better, Dr. Richie. Cut the nonsense. It's okay to disagree with the Obamas. You can't vote for them again because they can't run again. It's okay. Yeah. I disagree with Stephen A on a lot of things. I just do. But I don't disagree with his response that, the former First Lady who talked about him first. He just responded to her. And then, of course he's going to milk it. Who the hell would milk the former First Lady talking about you on her podcast? And why does she bring up Stephen A. Smith? For the same reason, she's now a content creator. She's using Stephen A.'s name in that clip, in that episode, because people knew it. Why else did she use his name? Because people knew his name. Let's cut the cap, man. Cut the cap. Yeah. See, people want solutions. They want to complain about what's going on with Black women and jobs, because that's a notable dip, man. I think it went from 5.1. The percentage of unemployment for Black women was 5.1. It went to 6.1. And people want answers. And of course, they want to say it's DI. I'm wondering if there could be some other issues, which I pointed out earlier. And unlike some, I would like to actually find out. I don't think everybody really wants to know, because it may not be the answer that they're looking for. They might not want that publicized. Because, the Black-Brown coalition. You know what? I think any new arrivals to this country who came through the southern border under Joe Biden, I don't think any of them would quit their job to let a Black American have it, because they're part of a coalition. Now, I think they came to America to have a better life. They didn't come here to join no coalition. They came here to get their money right. Y'all Democrats with this bullshit gonna have to cease, man. Black people waking up, they're not going for it. Dr. Richie. All right, guys, let me know what you think in the comments section. That wasn't a boy's life, Tim. Yeah, that was a Bronx Tale. Thanks to my brother H Stacks putting it down, fam. Sherry Covington knows what it is. Bronx Tale, that's it, that's the one. Goodfellas is also one. I brought up a couple of things tonight. But you know me, man, I'm a movie buff, hip hop and movie buffs. I'm gonna bring up stuff, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all help me get my callbacks right, get my name drops right. You know, I appreciate y'all, man. We be having fun on this show on a Friday night, keeping y'all going. A black Russian, who knows? Could be, right? Hey, maybe. He might have known better than to do that. Or maybe he would be given a pass to use the N-word if he was a black Russian. That's why someone said, yo, they were like, Tim, man, it's like this guy thought he just went to see a Rocky movie. You know, like he just saw Rocky and he came out, he's Italian, went to see a Rocky movie. He wants to come out and act like he's fighting Apollo Creed. Come on. Yeah, okay. You know, young dudes, you know, I learned in the 90s that a lot of young dudes don't fight one-on-one straight up like they used to back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I learned that the hard way. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. Some of us need to get with the times. It's 2025 out here. That's a long time ago, Johnson. When I came out of high school, that's a long time ago. It's a different day. I'm just glad nobody got shot. All this talk, man, we've been having all this conversation about people getting beat up, not even with objects. I mean, do you realize we talk about American violence? We're talking about American violence. There was a shooting at a university today where lives were taken. We're talking about people getting hit with fists. You know how lucky I was watching a video on a guy on TikTok describing how he got shot 5 times. Point blank. And he's retelling this story, and I'm like, crazy, right? You know, I'm just saying, man, America, we got more guns than people. Any story, and I mean any story, any altercation, any situation that does not end in gunfire or someone using their vehicle as a weapon, come on, man. Come on, Johnson. Is it just me? Hell, man, we got people setting people on fire on the damn subway in America. I mean, America's a violent place. It's a very violent place. That Russian should be saying, today was my lucky day. Shit. That's how I see it. That's it, man. Let me know what y'all think about Dr. Rashad Ritchie and this whole thing about Stephen A. and Michelle Obama. You know damn well Stephen A. gonna use this as an opportunity to promote his show. Who wouldn't? Man, if Michelle Obama or her brother brought up the Tim Black show, but she ain't gonna do that like that. If she's gonna bring up a show, it's gonna be one of the white shows that her husband went on. It's gonna be one of those Obama boys, you know, Obama bros show. They're not gonna hook up a black, struggling, independent media show that one that's critical to Democrats too. That should have never happened. But if it did, I'd milk it too. It'll be Obama talked about this show week on the Tim Black show. Man, I'll make them have to cover it. I'll make it so the newspapers have to cover that, man. All right, fam. That's all I got, Johnson. Tim Black's Wolfpack in the house, man. I want to thank everybody for being here. Don't forget, become a member of the show. Get primo access to all the content. Get our stuff before it's released to the public. Be the first to get it. We're talking ebooks. We're talking long-form content. The works, all right? Go to jointimblack.com or Tim's Take Live on patreon.com. I got nothing but love for y'all. Be safe. And look, guys, women, don't jump into fights. Trying to help guys you don't know. Don't do it. Particularly guys that start fights. Don't do it. Guys, no racial slurs at the strangers when you're obviously vastly outnumbered. How about no racial slurs at all? Or am I asking too much? Because you might get beat up. These are things I didn't think I had to tell grown-ass people, but, you know, When you come from a country where it's 1% black and you could basically dump on black people anytime and not have any repercussions, I guess maybe you're not used to being in a country where we fight back, where you don't get away with that shit, you know. Same thing with Ukraine. I saw what Ukraine was doing when black people were trying to get out of the country. Making it hard for black people to get out of the country. Man. I got nothing for y'all, man. Yeah, I thought it was common sense too, but it makes me callous, uncaring, infidel for saying these basic things, you know. My mom raised me not to stand around and watch fights. Shoot, if I stand around and watch a fight, when I get home, it's gonna be a fight. And she gonna win. That's how I was raised, but you know, I'm goofy like that, you know. I'm ridiculous. My expectations of human being survival instincts are way too high. Way too high. All right. And I didn't even know she just met him. That makes it even worse. Now, Mrs. Black, I can see her trying to save me. But a woman I just met today, that night, 2 hours earlier at a birthday party, and it wasn't even his birthday? Tony Yayo face.
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look.
We good? I got nothing but love, man. Look, thank my moderators, Black Mamba, Ebony, and the one and only Buck Bewley for doing what they do once again. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you for supporting this show. Lord knows you got other things you could do. Thank you for spending your Friday night here with me right here on the Tim Black Show. Be safe. Have a great weekend. I love you, Jasmine. And as always, don't let anybody take your cornbread. Because you know they're trying to take it, right? That's what they do. They take our cornbread. Let's keep our cornbread safe, Johnson. That's right. And as always, where are my ladies? Where are my ladies? You put your hands on my ladies, there's gonna be some problems. Wolfpack.